Okay.
Good
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
Even though we
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was telling Mavis, I love Dale Thurman, but, I didn't always like the way he voted.
Are you ready?
And then when we didn't agree on something, didn't make.
All right, being the time 10:38 on Friday, November 14th, I'd like to call to order the Jobs Committee meeting. If you would please call the roll.
Bates. Doherty. Hennessis.
Hennessis here.
Strathman.
Strathman here.
Young.
Hello.
Allen.
Alan on the way.
Thank you. Lewis.
Lewis here. If I could have remote attendance authorization for Ms. Strathman and also Ms. Allen till she gets here.
No objections.
No
Okay.
objections.
Is he part of this committee?
He's not, Gary's not in yet. But if he does, we'll allow him. Okay. I would like a unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from October 17th.
This would ask for unanimous consent.
Awesome. And no public comment, although we do have some guests, which is going to be exciting. So let's do our presentations first. We were supposed to have Workforce Ready, which is the high school initiative, and they have not come yet, so not positive what's going on there. They're from your area and they're pretty cool. But anyway, we are really excited because we have the U.S. Air Force recruitment presentation here, and then we have one by the Marines. We got talking last month about the fact that we talk about all these manufacturing jobs and our service jobs and all these other things, but we kind of neglected one of our most important employers, and that's our military. So we're very excited to have you come in and talk to us, and whichever one of you wants to go first. And if you would introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you for having me. My name is Tech Sergeant Adam Mayer. I've been in the Air Force for 15 years.
Get really
Come a
close
little
to that
closer.
mic.
Can you hear me? Is that better?
Yeah,
Let me
sorry.
adjust. No, it's all good. Good.
That's
All right.
perfect.
So my name's Tech Sergeant Adam Mayer. I've been in the Air Force for 15 years. I'm security forces by trade. That's a military, police, and the other branches. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. The committee. Just got delayed. Let's see. Sorry.
Is that not working?
You're exactly right. I apologize. Here we go. All right, so we were asked to come and tell you about some of the jobs in the Air Force, but first I want to tell you about the Air Force in general. So we operate in airspace and cyberspace. Our mission is to fly, find, win to provide air power anytime, anywhere. What that looks like for airspace, it's the best Air Force in the world, so nobody competes with us. These are some of our things to provide freedom, right? So air superiority. We also have bombers, also provide freedom. And then we also have some heavy planes. Those are close air support. So we have a lot of planes in the Air Force. It's the Air Force, right? I want to get mostly into, so what cyberspace is. That was space, this is cyberspace. So our cyberspace mission is to deny freedom of action in the domain to make so we're not cyber attacked, right? So we have cybersecurity, cyber support, network systems, all kinds of stuff in the cyber. And then we have space. So the new Space Force was developed in 2016. It's still part of the Air Force overarching, so I'm still a recruiter for the Space Force, but we just need to gain superiority in space now since it's going to be the new domain of war. So some different career opportunities that we have, like I'd like to tell the people that I talk to, an Air Force base is like a small city. So anything that a city will have, the Air Force will have as a job. So we got medical jobs, cops, fire, linguists. They'll teach you a language, all the cyber jobs that you can think of, radio technicians, aerospace. So we have a million different planes in the Air Force. So we have a bunch of mechanic jobs and electrician jobs to sustain those planes so we can still put those planes in the air. Some more job, aircraft armament. So to putting the missiles on the planes. Like I said, anything that the city would have, we have as a job. This is what I did. So I did this for 15 years before I became a recruiter. It's called Security Forces. It's an MP. Within that, there's a bunch of careers. as well. So I was a canine handler, so I did canine handling like your traditional police departments. I did that for a couple years. This is some of the training that you would go through as security forces to prepare you to do stuff within the career field, right? To defend the base. These Phoenix Ravens are like air marshals. So you go through this hard training to be able to defend the planes in the air and on the ground wherever they go. And the guys at the end of the president's plane, those are Air Force Security Forces Ravens. So when those guys salute them right there, it's always security forces. We go through training like traditional cops do with the base populace about active shooter training, suspects, barricaded suspects and stuff like that as well. This is a high school slide. So this is across the DoD in general. This is the pay chart for anybody in the military coming in. So you'll start as an E1 unless you got college credits and stuff. And then you progress throughout the years. Each year we get a pay raise. But that's the general all money in your pocket pay right there. So as soon as you come in, you're going to be making $23.19 a month, but you don't pay for food. You don't pay for housing. Everything is covered. Also tuition assistance while you're in the military, you get tuition assistance. It's $4,500 a year. And so you can go to school for free. The Air Force is also the only branch in the military that's also a community college. So we have the community college of the Air Force. So when you go to the community college of the Air Force, you start earning a degree in which your job is in. The other branches are starting to come around and get their own community colleges as well. So that there's the Navy Community College, but they are not accredited yet. So we're accredited by the same accreditation that accredits LSU. I can't think of what it is right now, but you'll be able to but aside from that, you'll be able to use your tuition assistance to get a degree in whatever you want. And you continue to use this. So you could leave the Air Force with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, whatever you want. Once you get out, people usually use their GI, post 9/11 GI Bill. This is like $105,000 stipend you get to be able to go to school when you get out of the military to give back to you, right? So you could, go to school, any school you want to get another bachelor's degree, get your master's if you already got your bachelor's while you were in. It also pays for housing whenever you're going to school. So you'll get a stipend for your housing. So it's Staff Sergeant BAH or E5 BAH, whatever that might be. It's based on locality. Illinois also has the Illinois Veterans Grant. So that's for residents of Illinois specifically. Whenever they move back to Illinois, they can use it to go to any state college for free. So you could get another degree. So you could end up leaving the Air Force and have 4 degrees if you really are interested in education. Another program that the Air Force has is called Air Force Cool. This is a $4,500 per year benefit that you have to pay for industry certifications. So if you were in the military and you worked as a mental health technician, you could go get some kind of credential to be able to transfer better into the civilian world and be more presentation or more competitive and prime for civilian jobs on the outside. It's $4,500 a year. It's mostly within your career, but you are allowed to get one outside of your career. So if you're not interested in doing what you did in the Air Force. So this is what the Air Force's commitment looks like. It's 4 6-year commitment. So you do 4 years and then you get all these benefits on the outside, right? Giving back to your country. I'm not going to bore you with what it looks like on the inside, but the dorms, you get free food, you get free housing. It's all covered for you. All the training's free. You're not paying anything out of pocket. So some of the training you'll go through BMT. That's basic military training. It's 7.5 weeks in the Air Force. Then you'll go to tech school. Tech school is where your job training. So all of our jobs are like technical jobs. So wherever you do your job, you're going to be, if you go here, you're going to do your same job that you're going to be doing if you're deployed in the Air Force. And then you'll receive on-job training, continuously training to make sure that you're prepared to do your job and then transition you to the civilian world. Our basic training is in San Antonio. It's 7.5 weeks. That's providing the structure for your Air Force career, right? They're going to break you down to build you up to make you sustainable within the Air Force. Basic training. This is some just tips about basic training. I won't go through them. Tech school, similar to vocational technical college school, whatever it may be. So we have HVAC stuff as well. So that kind of training is what tech school looks like. It's classroom and then on hands-on training. And then it's also college accredited. So that CCAF, you'll start earning credits while you're in tech school and basic training to get your associates in your job. And then you'll do on-job training. You'll get actual hands-on experience with the assets that you're going to be working on or whatever you're doing. in the Air Force. If I'm a cop, I went and did hands-on arresting people. Like we had people go drink and we'd pull them over for DUIs, fake DUI. They wouldn't obviously wouldn't be driving, but that's me. I'm Texas Army Mayor. I'm stationed in Aurora. Geneva is about as north as I go. So if anybody's north, I can definitely, if anybody's interested, if you come across, I can definitely put them in contact with the right people. But I appreciate you having me today. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Can I ask?
Wait, can you finish and then we'll go to questions?
Well, he called me. I just put my hand to ask.
I'm sorry.
Done?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you so much.
So,
I'm the troublemaker.
Okay.
Mr. Roth.
Hi, Roth here. Are you familiar with the Aviation Museum out at Aurora Airport?
I am. I've drove past it. I've never been to it.
And that's the typical, I belong to that.
Oh, awesome.
I'm the second longest serving volunteer.
Awesome.
We have 14 aircraft. Most of them are on loan from the Navy, but we do have an Air Force 105.
Nice.
So we've restored, and we unfortunately don't have a hangar. So if you ever want a tour,
Absolutely. I know.
Jake give me a call. I'll give you a personal tour.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
I have a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Back on. So, what is the youngest age and the oldest age that you can go into the Air Force?
So for the Air Force specifically, it's 17 with parental consent up until leaving for basic training at 42.
42.
Yes.
You're too old, Roth.
Almost.
And can you have some kind of a record and still go in?
Yes, you can. It's all based on the individual and what the crime is, whatever it may be. And there's ways to get around certain stuff, but it's anything too much, it's probably going to get denied.
Okay, and then I have one last question before I go to the rest of the board. Is our recruitment in the high schools up or down?
For me, I cover a pretty big area. So I cover from Geneva down to past Sandwich and Canelan, all the area. It's pretty good for me.
Okay.
Yes. And it's up for the Air Force as well. So the Air Force is at 50% of its goal for the year right now.
Okay, good. Ms. Fates.
What are the requirements?
So you'll get tested. So you'll qualify 3 different ways: through tests, through your legal requirements, and through medical requirements. So as long as you take an ASVAB, it's a battery test. So you need to do well on that to be qualified for jobs. Then you'll go through your legal history. You'll get fingerprinted. The FBI will run your criminal history. And then being physically fit and not medical stuff is kind of hard to get around. I'll push anything medical just because I'm not a doctor. I'll let them decide on that.
What is the age of your typical recruit? 18?
18 to 26 is the main stuff. I do have some 30-year-olds, but a lot of times whenever you're older and you're in your 30s, there's more stuff that comes with that. But I do get them. I put them in. It's a good benefit for everybody. It's good for them.
Go ahead.
How many women are you getting? What's your percentage of women?
I don't have a percentage, but I can tell you right now in my delayed entry program, that's people waiting to go into a career. It's about 3% or 3 people out of 15. So I don't know what that percentage.
20%.
20%.
Yeah, but it's a subset of America. So it's usually any percentage, and at different career fields, it's probably very similar.
And you have a reserves program that you can go right into, correct?
There's a reserves unit. I am not the reserve recruiters yet, but the Air Force has Air Force Reserve and Air Force National Guard. So it's 2 different components. I'm the active duty guy though.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Shepro?
Just get a note to
Mr.
the-
Shepro is our historian on all things Kane County.
The Air Force sent my son-in-law to law school. And he is now in Kuwait with the Charge d'Affaires and unfortunately also with my grandkids.
Interesting.
And
Cool.
a good advertisement. He joined when he was in his 30s.
Mm.
He's a naturalized British subject who became an American and is now in the Air Force.
Very cool. Great thing. All right. If there's no other questions, let's hear from the Marines.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. Go ahead and introduce yourself while he's,
All right. Hey, good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Sergeant Mendoza. I've been in the Marine Corps for past 8 years. I joined right after high school. I'm from California, Orange County to be kind of specific. But I'll tell a little bit about like my story as to why I decided to join the Marine Corps. Part of my slide does cover a lot of the things that Tech Sergeant Meyer did cover, talking about like the GI Bill as well as tuition assistance and utilizing all those educational benefits. So I'll just do something that kind of dives a little bit more deeper into what it is to be a United States Marine. When it comes to being a United States Marine, we look for individuals who typically want to challenge themselves and push themselves to the limit. We're one of the smallest branches in the United States military. Okay. We have the longest boot camp. It's 13 weeks long and the highest standards. I don't know if you guys were listening to the Secretary of War, Mr. Hegseth. He was raising the standards across all the boards for all militaries. The only branch that didn't need to raise their standards were the United States Marines because we're already at that standard. But I'll go ahead and continue with the slide. So like he was saying, when you enlist in the military, you'll have a paycheck first on the 15th. It's pretty much guaranteed. Even with the government shutdown, we do utilize other banks like Navy Federal, USAA that will authorize a loan to service members. So throughout the whole time the government shutdown was shut down, I still got paid and I was still able to take care of my family. So the security, the financial security is, is there. And for myself specifically, I was able to accomplish a lot at like a young age, take care of my family and just be that, man that I desire to be, growing up. Along with the reserves, the obligation for the reserves is it's part-time. So you'd be serving only 2 days out of the month, as well as 2 weeks out of the summer. When it comes to the reserves, we do have less job opportunity in comparison to active duty. In active duty, we have over 300 jobs that you could actually get into that can transfer out to the civilian sector depending on what it is. Also, while you are on active duty, I'm sure Tech Sergeant May had already covered, your medical, dental is covered. Your lodging is covered. If you end up starting a family, you'll get basic allowance for housing. So for those, individuals who have either a girlfriend or a wife or a child, and they end up enlisting in the military will provide them what's called is basic allowance for housing. And based on that zip code, they'll give a certain amount of money so that they could actually live and support their family. While you're active duty, you'll get 30 days paid vacation. You're able to apply for the VA loan. So 0% down when purchasing a home. I purchased my first home at 23 years old, over, half a million at, in California, which, could be beneficial to a lot of people out here because at that age, it's probably not as common for your typical 23-year-old. And then for reserves, you'll get lowered medical and dental rates. And there's always an opportunity to still go on extended active duty orders. So although the minimum requirement is 2 days out of the month and 2 weeks out of the summer, you could always go on extended active duty orders. You always have like that backup plan to kind of be set and actually secured with a job in the case that something happens, on this side, on the civilian sector. While you're attending any Marine Corps schools, you actually do get college credits. You get college credits. So theoretically, if you're going right out of high school, going into become a reservist, you could knock out a bunch of the electoral credits, and then attend your college. And then what Sergeant Meyer said earlier is could go towards your tuition. Here is a number of the jobs that we do have. So what I like to explain and how I like to describe it is the Marine Corps is its own like little city. Like we need everything. So we're like a little utopia. So believe it or not, we have mailmen, we have shelf stockers, we have, yeah, for me, I said military police, pretty much anything you kind of think about, we have marketing, comms, engineering, motor transport. And a lot of these MOSs or military occupational specialties can transfer out to the civilian sector, leaving that person with experience. Because when it comes to getting hired by an employer, experience goes a long way aside from just having that degree. Another thing I want to touch on is employers actually get a tax cut from hiring veterans, which maybe some of you guys know, which just leaves that individual more marketable in comparison to, other people who tend to not go this route. Also, while serving in the Marines, we have programs while you're active duty that can help prepare you. So let's say you ended up getting into a field and you want to change that field to something else. We have what's called a Skill Bridge, and Skill Bridge is a program that you could go take a school that takes like less than a year, use it for your last contract. So let's say you have a 4-year contract, use the last year, and let's say you want to go into like military police. There you go, join the school for law enforcement so that you're better equipped to transition into the civilian sector. Or it could be welding, plumbing, whatever the case is, just to set you up for success following your military service. Another one is the enlisted to medical degree preparatory program that allows, so for the Marines, we don't have any medical jobs in the Marine Corps. However, there's programs that allow you to get into that so that you could get that bachelor's and actually transfer into a medical status. And then you'd be enlisted into or commissioned into the Navy. But there's a lot of programs that I'm still learning about today that can help, a lot of citizens end up becoming, better leaving the service. And pretty much how it would look like is, just having a talk with me. The start would be having a talk with me. I'd make sure that, the person is basically qualified. So the age for us would be 18 or 17 with parental consent to the age of 28. There are waivers for people who are older. They just have to be in, a certain physical standard. And then as far as like criminal history, some of those are waiverable. Just depends how intense they are and how serious they are. You do need to complete at least the 10th grade and have a GED or have a diploma to enlist in the Marine Corps. And then there is a height and weight requirement. So just depending on whatever your height is, you have to weigh a certain amount before you can enlist in the United States Marine Corps. But after we hash out all that, we set an appointment, talk to me. I'll see if, the Marines is something that, could actually fit that person's ideals. And then we'll go through with starting the process, which is passing the ASVAB, the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery Test, and then setting them to do their medical. With Genesis, it pulls the records from the day that they're born all the way up to the day of yesterday. So there's kind of tough getting around anything that, if anybody's trying to hide anything, other than that, if they're fully qualified, we'll end up letting them choose their job that they qualify for. And then they'll get a ship date to boot camp. And they'll go through the whole transformation and begin their journey. All right. Do I have any questions?
So, if all the branches of the service have similar jobs, because, like you both said, you're small cities, how does a young person decide which branch to go into? Not by the uniform, right? Because yours are better than his, for sure. But sorry.
Bias. We can't take her anywhere, believe me.
On two.
So I'll say in my experience, it really comes down to the individual themselves. Some of them want that challenge. They want to actually like earn something because, for example, joining the National Guard while you're in high school, right off the bat, they'll call them soldiers. For the Marines, even when you go to boot camp, you're not called a Marine until you complete the crucible, which is in the last like 2 or 3 weeks of boot camp. So throughout that whole time, you're just a recruit and you actually earn something at the end of it, is earning the title United States Marine. So nothing's really just given, it's earned in the United States Marine, and people usually, or depending on the person, they want that challenge to push themselves to the limit. They want to better their discipline. They want to better a lot of like intangibles. So that self-reliance, that self-discipline, that courage, that confidence, those things. For people who are more, tangible, they want, like, whether that's an education piece or, education piece, or maybe something that is not as difficult. The other branches might be something that fits them more. It really just comes down to that specific person, but uniforms do help.
I think we should give Mr. Air Force a
I
chance.
think so
to,
too.
do a little rebuttal here.
Thank you very much. Don't go too far in case somebody has questions.
Now we got dueling.
Go ahead.
So what I tell the people, if to decide what branch you want to do, just think of the missions. Think of what we tell you, how we present ourselves to you, to understand what the different branches will return to you and what you get. So difficulty in training, that's a spectrum, right? So you come into the Air Force, is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. It's going to be difficult. You just graduated high school. It's going to be the most difficult thing you ever did. Is it as difficult as the Marines? Probably not, right? I can be honest, they probably have a little bit, it's longer. Ours is shorter, but that's all on a spectrum, right? So you'll still earn you don't get the title of airman until you graduate, basically.
There you go.
But it is up to the individual, right? So just think of the missions, think of what we're doing for the nation, right? And what you want to do with yourself.
Thank you. Those are both good answers, by the way.
I like your uniform.
Screen friendly. Okay. Do we have more questions for either one of our guests? No?
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Service.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the historian will remind everyone that the Marines celebrated their 250th anniversary on Monday.
Yes, that's very true. Thank you for reminding us.
Happy birthday.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much. All right, next thing on the agenda is the Jobs Committee 2026 goals discussion. I developed what I believed were kind of concise, not too lofty, of SMART goals that we could measure. And I sent them just like a day ago, so I didn't give you guys much time, but I also had them printed out. So if you guys want to discuss these, we can, or else if you want to just look at them and then we'll, finalize them next month.
Yeah, I took a look at them last night and they look great to me, Anita.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any feedback, Mavis?
No, they're fine.
Okay. He already told me, go ahead.
I had a question. So would this be something that we would be going through each month then in this committee, each one of the 6 committee goals, just to make sure that
So they'll
we're on
go,
track?
they'll go up here. So they'll be on every agenda.
Okay.
And we might not discuss all of them, every agenda, but they will kind of be our marching orders for next year.
Okay. So you kind of formulate, excuse me, you formulate the agenda each month around those goals. I would imagine that would be the
Yes.
reason for having this.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, but we might not talk about all 6 every month, and we're not going to go where we at on each of these 6, but we'll make sure that they're going to be the basis of what we do next year.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Chris,
This is just a suggestion for the committee, but in the prior years of the Jobs Committee, we did have a list of priorities. And one of the things that I did when I added items to our agenda was I matched the items, the priority items to the item on the agenda. So that way we were aligning our items up with those goals. So if the committee would like me to do so, I can move as items come onto our agenda moving forward. I can list which goals that they are
I think
matching
that,
up.
yeah, I think that would be
Idea.
great. Kind of keep
Okay.
us on target.
Yeah, so that way we just, everything has a purpose for the agenda.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
I love that. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, and if you guys think about this and you come up with something else, we can always add or change. But I just wanted to get it out there because we're quickly approaching the end of the year. It's amazing.
Madam Chair, I think it's a very good
Right.
start.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing it.
You're welcome. Oh,
Nick of time. In conclusion, no.
probably out there flirting with the military guys. Okay, next on the agenda then, thank you for that, is our Kane County Economic Development Initiatives Staff Updates.
Thank you, Chris Toth speaking. I sent a digital copy to everyone prior to the meeting, but I did, I also brought hard copies if you haven't received one of the most recent World Business Chicago Research Center Economic Dashboard. At the last Jobs Committee meeting, there had been some discussion about having updates on regional economic data. Unfortunately, during the government shutdown, there has been no updated data produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So we're still sitting recently at the August number of unemployment for King County, which is 4.7%, which is pretty comparable to our counties.
So to clarify, labor was not working. Okay.
So that's what this dashboard has some updates to it, but it looks pretty similar. If this is what the committee would like to, thank you. What the committee would like to see moving forward, unfortunately, the date that this is sent to us doesn't align perfectly with our agenda production. But if this is what we'd like to see every month and is part of, our staff updates, I'm more than willing to do it. I think we're just going to have to get used to sending it right to the committee as I receive it and having it part of the staff updates. But holistically, this is much better than a lot of the data that I could find. And, as part of our partnership with GSEP, this is what they send out to us. And I also have John Grueling here with me if you have any questions.
Yes, Mr. Roth.
I think this is very good. I would suggest maybe every meeting go in a little more detail in each section so we can understand it. So in the future, we'll understand what we're seeing type of thing, because I think it's helpful.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
I do apologize. I believe there was a miscommunication, or our first presentation wasn't able to join us today. So I'll see what happened with that and see if I can get them on the agenda. They wanted to do a follow-up presentation from their District 110 presented to the Jobs Committee last year, and they wanted to follow up with us just how things had gone in the year since they came. But I'll work with them and get them back onto the agenda. But with that, I have John here with me. If anyone has any questions about this or anything else, I'd be glad to take them.
Ms. Allen first and then Mr. Young.
Alan speaking. John, we were lucky enough to be included in the CMAP celebration for the next 100 years. And I just wondered, as you are working with all of these folks, can you see a grand scheme? Is the attention still always going to be on the fact that we have a huge metropolitan area, which is the center of our economic activity, and also sucks up a lot of the money and the energy and the businesses and the employment and so on and so forth? Or can you see it spreading out to us? Because frankly, people would rather live here, and our entrepreneurs are every bit as good, and our workforce is maybe more educated. Can you kind of give us a summary from your experience with the CMAP folks?
That's great. I love to be put on the spot. Well, first of all, CMAP is a regional organization. And I believe it's McHenry, Lake, Kane, Kendall, Will, DuPage, Cook. So, and I would say, having been in this region for the last 25 years doing the type of work I do, this current version of CMAP is probably one of the better ones as far as the collar counties are concerned. Aaron, their director, is very open, quick to help with issues regarding transportation. CMAP actually played a role in the development of the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership. In fact, I would argue if it wasn't for CMAP, that group probably would not exist today, because they were an advisor to the county board chairman. And if Madam Chairman was here, I'm almost positive she would agree with that. So, so here's the other thing about regional economic development is that we believe that all of us together are greater than the sum of our parts, correct? So that when we're competing for jobs and new investment on the national or the global scale, we're going to do better when we're working together, because Kane County will not be identified as quickly as the Chicagoland metro area. And let's face it, the city of Chicago itself. And it's unfortunate that it seems like more often than not, some of the things going on in the city of Chicago maybe don't lend well as far as what we're trying to accomplish out here in terms of politics, in terms of budgets, in terms of safety. But that's all part of being part of a metropolitan area the size of Chicago. So I think we're getting more than a fair shake. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think the CMAP we see today, hands down, is better than the CMAP that I've seen 10, 15, 20 years ago. And if others in the room may agree or disagree with that, that's probably more of an opinion or an observation.
Part of what I'm referring to is I went to the IMEC, Illinois Manufacturing Excellence Group.
Right.
I think it was about a month or so ago. And the anecdotes and the ROIs that were demonstrated during that little conference were just, reassuring and inspiring, and kind of gave you confidence that you have people out there with a good business idea, but maybe not a lot of background, and we're able to help them increase their profits, increase their productivity, hire more people, knock wood, become real wealthy so they can give us museums and art galleries and stuff like that. But they were just really believable stories about how somebody with a good idea can make it work, because other people find that idea or that product valuable and are willing to buy it or hire it.
Well, that's an interesting segue, because we have a little clip from IMAC. But I want to let John and Chris finish theirs, and then we'll do that. Ms. Bates.
When we went to the CMAP event a week or two ago, the title was the Century Plan.
Right.
But they didn't really talk about the Century Plan. Is there a Century Plan? And does it already exist, or are they going to make the Century Plan? And could we get somebody to tell us what it is?
Right. We should probably ask for a presentation on this.
That's what I was expecting at the shindig.
Yeah.
Can we get a presentation on that?
I don't see why not. As a member of CMAP, Kane County deserves.
Does it exist, or is it something they're going to do?
it's a work in progress. You know,
Okay.
that event was rather interesting because after I got there, I was a little, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting.
It wasn't what any of us expected.
Okay. And it really came undone when that drum group went through.
My God.
That was very cool, I thought, but it was not conducive to having sort of intelligent conversation. But that's another matter.
Food culture was great, but I thought it'd be a room, I thought there'd be a presentation with the,
But you know what was so cool about that is, and if you've been around these rooms for a while, the cross-section of people that were at that event, from government, from business, from not-for-profits, from
Sierra Club
planning.
was there. Yeah.
It was phenomenal. I saw people there that I hadn't seen in many years, and they were looking at me the same way. So if it was meant to convene things, that certainly, it was a, you know, a win. As far as a plan is concerned, yes, CMAP is obligated to do a plan. I think they have to update it every 5 years. The Century thing sort of caught me on
Or
off
100
guard.
years.
Well, but I don't know if they're speaking to the fact that maybe one of the original Chicago plans,
That was the Burnham plan.
right,
Right? It was called the Century Plan.
which was in what, 1906 or something like that?
A long
Anyway,
time
No,
ago.
9.
Was it 9? Okay. Yeah, is there a plan? Yes. Did they present it at the event? No.
Carefully guarded secret? Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's a secret. I certainly don't think so, but I think we probably should do a little research and come back to you maybe next month with our
Cool.
findings.
Very good. All right. Yes.
Yeah. On page 2 of that dashboard, that literally shows the dashboard. And what I'd like to see is more of Kane County, or maybe do a separate one just with Kane County. Because here, what's interesting is that you have 2 deals in Kane County, capital growth. This is a lower right-hand corner box. I don't know if it would be if you're capable of like pulling information out so you could show more about just Kane County. And it's interesting because you see the number of like right above it, it says new private residential permits, the metro area. I know that's all Chicagoland, but what about Kane County?
Yeah.
If you could have more of just Kane County, that's what I'd, obviously that we're Kane County Board, obviously that's what we're looking at. I know that we're not a little island and that we're influenced by everyone around us, but I'd still like to have a very micro version of this dashboard showing just Kane County and how we're doing. Well,
I agree. Excuse me. One of the goals I did put on here was develop some kind of a dashboard that we can talk about. And I think we can probably put that on as a new business item, maybe January.
You know, on page 4 of this report, I think it's page 4, 2 pages later than what we were just talking about. There is county-specific data, but it's not the housing.
oh, I
study.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm pretty sure
Does
that we
Blair
could
have
get.
this document?
I'm sorry.
Can
No,
we send
Chris-
this document to Blair so I know what we're talking about?
Yeah, this was sent to the county. This was sent to everybody on the jobs committee.
And we're looking at page 4 on that.
Should I send it to Blair? We want to.
So to answer your question, we can probably get some additional Kane County information that's regularly reported. So you may know better than I. Is there some source of monthly building permit activity for Kane County that you're aware of?
I'll have to check because I think development receives some of that information in their monthly reports. So I'll see what we can draw from them and add it to what we send with the.
Yeah, that'd be great. Is it separate? Because this is awesome. This is really good.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but if we just had that dashboard that we could all talk about every month, about how Kane County is doing. Obviously, we want to compare it to Chicago as well. I mean, and even New York, but it's still really great, that page 2.
It's good to have the comparison to the other counties, like you mentioned.
And
but
even
yeah.
even the other cities, like New
Yeah,
York and
right,
everything.
it
I mean,
is, yeah.
It's very interesting, LA, Houston. But I'd really like to have a separate page for Kane. I have to go.
Well, let's have a deeper discussion on it in January. To kind of finalize what we really do want to see. Ms. Allen?
Those of us, Alan, those of us from Elgin are getting, I think, a weekly report from the Elgin Development Group. And I was just wondering, is anybody else interested in that? Or does Aurora do that as well? Do you get it?
No, but I'd be interested.
Okay, Dave, have you ever gotten that?
I have it. No.
Would you be interested in that? No, that's just Elgin.
Well, the question is Chris getting it?
I'm sorry?
Is Chris getting?
Sorry, I do not.
You're talking about,
The Elgin specific data? No, I'm sorry, I'm not on that list.
I'm getting that,
Thank you.
Deb. I'm getting that. Yeah, it's from Carol, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
Tony-
very interesting. I always-
Every Friday.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay, so you do get it.
yeah, I don't look.
It is specific. I'm looking at the list right now. It's not going, Mavis, you're probably not getting it. It's just going to the Elgin area
Yeah.
board members.
I get one from Elgin, but it's a lot of the things that are going on and events and things like that, which is interesting.
What they're trying to do,
Microphone.
I'll just fill you in a tiny bit, is they talk about how much retail space there is, how much industrial space there is, what's happening with residences, how many, okay, how many, well, but they also, be aware, they also do puff piece stuff. So like last time they talked about pets. So be aware, sometime that's going to be in there too.
Well, David has pets. So. Bye, David.
Madam Chair.
Hi, David. Thank you. Ms. Strathman?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. That is actually an excellent report that we get here in Elgin. And they also talk about the number of square foot of manufacturing. They talk about new businesses coming to Elgin and the numbers of employees that they will be adding to the workforce. It's really excellent. So I didn't realize we were the only ones getting that information. I think we should make sure everybody who wants it can get that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either, Cheryl, until I just looked at the list of who's getting it. I just assumed it was all of us.
Hey, Ted, could you
Me
have the rest
too.
of this committee added to it? You mind sending it to
Yes,
Carol and ask her
I
to add
will.
us?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm hoping then I can take a look at it because I would then talk to St. Charles. Is it something they could produce for us too? And, well, you want all the cities
Sure.
that are willing to do it.
Do you happen to know if Aurora has something like that?
Well, I haven't seen what they do, so I really can't tell you.
Okay.
We do get a lot of different things, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's put it on the agenda for January. Do you guys have anything else?
No, I'm very excited to show the video. I'm glad
I know, me too.
I'm done. Thank you.
Does Blair have the video? Could you cue up the video? You'll recognize our rock star.
The Kane County Board, once we started to realize that we wanted to work with manufacturers, we didn't know how to do that. So we started first talking with one of our local organizations, the Valley Industrial Association. And the first thing they told us was you have to talk to somebody at IMEC. And we said, what's an IMEC?
IMEC works throughout the entire state of Illinois with small to mid-sized manufacturers. And one of the initiatives was to work within Kane County. IMEC itself has a team of improvement specialists, and we help manufacturers in different areas such as leadership, strategy, operations, workforce, customers, results. That purpose doesn't change regardless of where we are in Illinois.
Kane County has recognized the historical importance of our manufacturing industry. From the early times of sawmills and grist mills, Our focus is now on cutting-edge applications, making our manufacturing industry stronger through innovation, workforce growth, and economic development. IMAC has been a big help in supporting manufacturing here in Kane County and across the region.
We all want to kind of have some say in how we're reviewed and just have that vision of throughout the year, what are we working towards? And so that was probably really the most helpful part, was just, it had an impact on everybody. So, you know, engaging the team was critical for that.
Small to mid-sized manufacturers tend to have a lot of obstacles. They have few people wearing multiple hats, and so there's a lot of barriers, reasons for which they can't put workforce first. Kane County's initiative, they can see people that look like them, right? And be able to see some of the things that they did, some of the success stories, some of the impacts that were made in retaining employees, in being able to grow and create jobs.
By reinvesting in manufacturing, the other communities around the state would have those effects where they keep those families and know that they're able to stay. So that investment they make will continue to strengthen those manufacturers and will continue to help them grow, and that workforce will get stronger.
So I think this event today is really important because there's not always a lot of opportunity to bring the manufacturers in the same room with elected officials, with other partners, and just really celebrate what manufacturing, is doing, what it means, but also how we can continue to work to support it and improve it.
Well, yay.
Produced all in-house?
Pardon?
Was that produced all in-house by Blair's?
No,
No.
it came from IMAC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They authorized us to use it. Yeah.
Very nice.
That's why Mark's not here. He's out signing autographs today.
Yeah.
You guys are on.
Yeah, they had it posted on LinkedIn, and Mark,
Pulled it down.
yeah, pulled it down to the Y Kane, and so I said, we need that Friday, so he made that happen for us, so it
Nice.
was very good. Yeah.
I have a
Although I didn't
question.
think that they really had the proper PPE equipment on in those factories.
I-
So,
Beard
I
net.
would agree.
yeah, it's like,
Be funny. I just wanted to ask a couple more questions about this,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Mhm.
So looking at this economic dashboard, I don't know what
Just
page
speak it
this is.
closer to your mic, please.
I'm not sure what page this is because the pages are not numbered, but the macroeconomic and the employment by industry. So I know DuPage is a lot bigger than we are, but they're only like twice as big. So how come like we're for our GDP is a quarter or so of DuPage's when we're half as big? Does everybody in Kane County go work in DuPage, or
DuPage is actually, I think, 3 times bigger. There,
3 times 3? Yeah, or 4, 3.5.
One time, it's twice.
Oh, no,
their
the
population.
population is only,
It's a little,
less
it's a
than
little
twice.
under or over 1 million, and we're at 500,000.
I just Googled it.
okay,
They're about 900,000.
Okay,
We're
thank you.
about 500,000.
right. So they are
Twice as
double
big.
that.
So, but they're looking at their GDP. It's weird, right? They're 113 and we're 33.
Yeah.
So is that because we've got more
Might be.
cows than they do? Or,
They,
More
they have
ag?
more, they have more businesses than we do.
so we're more ag and they're,
Oh, the mix is stronger. Yeah, there's less ag in Page.
There, I don't think
that's
there's
what I
any.
mean.
If you look at the table below, Mavis, where it says employment by industry, I mean, you can do some comparables. Look at the tech industry. We have only 8,000 compared to 40,000. Business and pro services, professional services, they've got about 6 times with that. They
Mhm.
also have much more headquarters of international business than we do.
Sure,
So there's just
sure.
a lot of moving parts to that question,
Okay.
but yeah, some of it's in the table
They,
below.
they've
looks-
had an economic development corporation for a long time.
Well, I worked at Bell Labs, AT&T in Naperville for 20 years. And I mean, the R&D corridor is right along there. So I guess that makes sense.
They launched that corridor.
They named that corridor.
Right.
2 high-tech corridors. I mean, you could extend that out to Kane County. Looking at that list, manufacturing is the only one where we hold our weight against DuPage. We actually outstrip them if you go by population. We got 33,000, they have 59, so it's over, what it should be.
Mhm.
So manufacturing is our bread and butter.
That's our secret ingredient.
Uh-huh.
That's correct.
Well, it just looked like
Also,
strange.
food manufacturer, we're pretty close to them too.
Yeah.
That would be manufactured.
So we got a lot more cows.
All right.
I mean, I like Kane County just the way it is, so.
All
Not
right.
complaining.
Are you done with the chatter?
Pardon me?
Are you done?
Wait. Yes, I'm done.
Thank you very much for the discussion. Workforce Development is not here with us this morning. The new director is starting officially on Monday. Today is John DeVay, his last day is today. And they have had some crossover. Yes,
I was gonna say, has there been any
Yes.
overlap? Okay.
yes, they have. And he feels that Adam is more than ready to jump in Monday. So hopefully we will get some consistency and get those reports to you in time to get them in the packet every month. And then
So
we'll
Ad-
have either him or Jasmine here every month to talk about things.
And we'll be at our next meeting probably
That's my intent, yes.
in person.
And if not, somebody else.
Not on Zoom.
I can't. Can only ask. All right. I have no new business. Anybody have any new business? Okay. Then we need a motion to place the reports on file.
Alan moves. How about unanimous consent to put our reports on file from this meeting?
I have a little question. If the, our staff people or, the chair and the, other people of the committee are going to any of these events, let me know.
Okay.
Because I don't want to miss out on something good because I didn't realize it was a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
And I enjoyed the CMAP one because it was a really cool event. It just wasn't what we expected.
I actually served when I worked at Illinois Department of Natural Resources. I was on their environmental committee and just an effective group. You know, you want to talk about someone that organizes committees in a really effective way. I mean, it was just a very effective group. And that was just one of many committees that they have, just a great organization.
Good.
Mr. Roth.
My comment on CMAP, I think one great thing we did is the four of us that went down, took the train and Madam Chair joined us.
Oh, yeah.
So it saved the county some money. And we also had fun, I think. And it was a good networking. I met a lot of people I went into the,
I wanted to go
Louis
just so I could
Bureaus.
go to Burgos for their corned beef sandwich, but I wasn't.
so
available
this
that
is at
day.
the post office, so wrong way.
Close enough. That's right. Yeah. it wouldn't
And
be
we had a
the-
beautiful day.
They
so
used to
we
be at the
walked-
Sears Tower.
We walked from
Yeah.
the Oglesby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, before this committee gets adjourned. So I would actually appreciate a little bit more knowledge about exactly what CMAP does, because I believe they're mostly traffic and transportation minded. Right? That's where their funding comes from. So just 5 minutes on what the heck. Well, if we get them to do their century plan, they can tell us more about
Bet you
themselves.
Erin would love to come and do an introduction for us. I bet you she would.
Yeah, we could reach out to someone at CMAP. I'm actually currently working on a project with CMAP myself with a housing project that we are sharing mostly through the development committee, but we can have
Okay.
someone from.
I think I should know more about their mission.
Okay.
Okay,
Y'all should.
thanks.
All right. No executive session and
Moves
I'd like a motion to adjourn.
to adjourn.
Anybody want to second that?
This is so second.
Okay.